Hey guys, Esterlin here. It's been a while since I've done an astrophotography tutorial or anything like that. I actually really don't do astrophotography tutorials because I'm only focused on like exoplanetary work. I don't really have time to actually enjoy doing astrophotography, like taking photos of galaxies, nebula, clusters, etc. Long story short, this is a collaboration between PAX E Lab and myself to kind of teach people the processes of astrophotography from both pre-processing to post-processing. So what pre-processing is like your stacking, your filters, your individual filters that you got, and then you're gonna make one giant composite using a feature in image processing on here, which will stack all of your images through this RGB channel slot. And it's nice because it's effective and it works and it's amazing. So long story short, um, this is kind of in collaboration with Paxi Lab, which is a telescope proposal that I got recently added to teach people about astrophotography and exoplanetary work, as well as a bunch of other stuff. And this is actually the first of the series, so if you guys are new to the channel, I welcome you guys, and I will get started right away. So first, we're going to start with pre-processing. So what pre-processing is, you're going to stack all your filters at once to showcase what we got here, what we're working with. We got our blue filter, we got our green pass filter, which is a visual filter, which ironically is situated in the green. And then you got H alpha, which is what we got last night. And then we got red pass filter. The red pass filter is a red filter, and it's actually, I think it's a photometric filter, but for the sake of this, we're actually using it for astrophotography, which is not typically the best thing to use. Although, if I wanted to, I could just go to a 24-inch Mars Cold Observatory and actually use the actual LRGB filters on board. Although that would be much better, but we're just gonna go with this, and I think it produced some really good results. So to stack all your filters, you're gonna want to take this. You're gonna take all your images that you have. So far, we have 35 images of the red filter. You're gonna go here into the sequence name. We're gonna call this M51 RP filter stacked. It's gonna be 32-bit. We're gonna call it 32-bit. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to convert these filters. And there you go. It's going to do that. And you got your whole stack of, you got your entire stack of red filters. And then after that, you're going to go to no normalization if stacking will allow it. However, this is 32-bit, so it might not work. So it's only useful in 16-bit, which sucks about Siril. Like I said, because it's not set to 16-bit, so it's not working properly, so we're not able to actually stack it, so, which sucks, but we can go ahead and register, and so it's going to register all this stuff, and it's going to basically create a new, which we can actually delete this because this is actually not supposed to. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So we got all that. Oh, whoops. All right, so we got that. We accidentally deleted our RP filter. So we can actually delete this because we don't really need to focus on that. So we could, so we took the RP filter, we registered them, we couldn't stack them because they were not converted to 16-bit. And I don't feel like shrinking down the data because it's already a standard 32-bit. So I think we're good to save this. So what we can do is do this. 32-bit dot tiff. Now I already have the stack, so we're not going to worry about this. So we're just going to do this for the next three filters that we have. So we're going to go with the blue. We're going to stack all 35 of the blue. And so we're just renaming from RP to blue. That's all you really need to do. So you can just convert it. And there you go. You got your blue channel. And your blue channel is going to be... And then you could just... After you register, you can save it again. So that way that you can go save it, and although we already saved it, so I don't understand why Siril has a habit of creating these. If someone could point me in the direction of the creators of Siril, I have a bone to pick about them actually doing this instead of creating separate folders for this type of stuff, because this gets irritating really quickly. So, we're going to delete these files. And like I said, we already got our blue filter stacked, so we don't need to worry about it. So we are pretty much set with the blue filter. Now, with the visual filter or the green filter, as apparently... So we could actually stack these, change the blue from blue to visual, and we can stack these. So now we have the green filter stacked, and I actually never seen this galaxy before. That's actually might be... We got a lot of faint galaxies here that are interesting to kind of observe in this... With this camera. We're actually using a QHY 600 Pro SciCam, which is a monochrome camera with a full weld of 403,000 electrons, which is pretty impressive for a camera. It's got really low noise quality. As you can see here, compared to some of the cameras that I've used in the past, this is definitely a step up. And it's amazing that the scope up in Tenerife Teide was able to keep tracked and stabilized throughout the entire night. And so we're going to go ahead. We're getting a little off track here. We're going to save it again as a TIFF, because we're always saving in TIFF. And so with the visual filter, we're going to name it Visual GP. We're going to call it green. And like I said, we already got green filter stacked tonight, so we don't have to worry about it. So, and another thing about stacking is you can't just have like a one TIFF, one PNG, JPEG, or... Yeah, you can't have any of those when you're making your... because it will not stack properly. So you always want to make sure that it's just one separate file codec. So basically, if you're working with a .fit, you can stack all the .fits. Not all the .fits, but... And then you can take the .tiffs or whatever you're using and stack them together. So you got to make sure that your filters are only set with one codec, so it's easier to work. It's easier to work with. So now what we're gonna do is, now that we're gonna actually work on the hydrogen alpha, which we just got last night. So hydrogen alpha filter stack 32-bit. We are now going to go into that filter, which is the H-alpha filter. We're going to take this. We only did about 20 of them because H-alpha is... It's a faint source, but because with the filter that we're using with H-alpha, it's... To show you how it is in linear, this is it in linear. You can't see nothing. So, and then you go back, And then, the only thing you can see are these two stars right there, which doesn't really give you any. But, long story short, we just stacked it. Now we're going to register the H alpha filters. So we're going to register them. There you go, it's registered. So you can actually see a lot of the starbursting regions here in the areas of the galaxy here. It's really cool because it brings out a lot of these possible clusters, nebula, and other stuff, as well as potential supernovae, which I don't know if that's even viewable in the hydrogen alpha, but I actually have to ask a few astronomer friends of mine if that's even possible. So then you can save, do this thing with the dot, switch to dot fit to dot tiff, take this, and then there you go, you already have it. And oh my god, Siril, you are driving me insane with this saving thing. I don't know why it does it, but it does it. Again, we already have hydrogen alpha filter stack, so what we're going to do now is we're going to oh, jeez. Okay, my computer is going anywhere. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start the process of actually stacking all the individual filters. So now we got RGB. We don't have a luminance channel, which we're going to choose this filter, H alpha at 652.28 nanometers. So we're going to do that. We're going to select the red channel first. So what we would do, oh crap, it's doing that again. Hate it. So we're gonna change. We're gonna take the red filter. And then we're gonna take the green filter. We're gonna take the blue filter, and the blue actually shows up more. I don't know why it does, but it does. Then we're gonna take the H alpha filter, or hydrogen alpha, whatever you wanna call it. Then we're gonna go into RGB mode, and as you can see, I don't know why it's in that type of color. I think I might have had the color combination wrong, but I think I might do a separate tutorial for that because I don't want to get into the math portion of it because it's a lot more difficult to process. So now that we got this, we can actually do some color correcting. Keep in mind, this is just basic color calibration. So we can take this, use current selection, background neutralization. Basically, it's going to equalize the sky background in neutral gray. So you got that, and there you go. That's basically with all the filters stacked, which is actually a really good. And then there you go. And I do that for some reason because it's still kind of like been jetting in the orange area. I don't know why it is, but it is. And so now here comes the tricky part. The tricky part is making sure your stars are aligned. And it looks like we got some misaligned stars here. We got some not too terrible, but what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this and use RGB align 1-star registration, and it's not too terrible. However, it looks like the hydrogen alpha is, geez, it takes a bit for this to happen. So I think it's good so far, not too terrible. We can actually do a little bit of color saturation here because we still got some matched colors here. So I'm going to go here, go to orange, brown, yellow. Whoops. That looks good. Hit apply, then go back. Color saturation. You want to make sure you're doing this with separate colors because you don't want to like do the same thing with. So what we're gonna do now is work on our pink, which I don't know why it's doing that. I think we had something wrong here. Now I think what we're gonna do is go to the pink, red, orange here. See, it's this color that's causing the whole thing. So now we got that. We got rid of that. That's good. So pink, red / red, orange. That's, yeah. So we got rid of that, and it's starting to look pretty clean. However, we can do some additional color saturation because I want to bring out more of the H alpha. So I think what I'm going to do now. Wow, look at that. That's amazing right there. Haha. And keep in mind, this is just minimum processing. And I think with the H alpha added, it brings out a lot of these starbursting regions with globular clusters, nebulae, etc. It's an overall good balance. And now we can actually do a little bit more. We actually need to use a histogram stretch. So we could do that, hit apply, take off auto stretch, go back into linear, and there it is. And now we can go do some more with asymptote transformation. I think that's how you call it. And reduce the noise. Since we got 2 nights worth of data, we can actually stack. I think that looks good right there. So that's basically just a minimum post-processing after the pre-processing, which is not bad. And given that, we're using a professional observatory and using photometric filters, it's interesting to see it in this composition. And I gotta say, this is probably easily my top 5 favorite galaxies to image. And, well, if you guys enjoyed this, feel free to share this with other people who are interested in learning basic processing with Siril and stuff like that. I might invest in PixInsight in the future and do some processing tutorials with PixInsight. But yeah, this is just the basic processes in Siril, and the best part is it's a free program. So if this helped you in any way, feel free to subscribe and come back for more. I will be more with exoplanetary work in the future. We are actually working on a couple of projects with exoplanetary work. We actually got a run tonight, and we're going to be doing that tutorial later this week on exoplanetary work. So if you would like to learn about doing that type of stuff, stick around for more, and I will be out with a new video next Monday. So yeah, until then, I hope you guys found this somewhat useful and whatnot. So yeah, until next time, stay curious.